The year was 2014, when my dad passed in his sleep. Out of nowhere, a day like no other happened. Our connection ended. But as the moon did its cycle, messages came to me. I looked at my dad's life, and with wonder, I seen myself in him. I looked back and seen all the good that he tried to bring to the O'Devney Gardens area, and he knew they needed something to dream of becoming. In the 80s, he started by getting local shops to sponsor his basketball team, and over that period of time, by building connections, he also realised that kids needed more than basketball. They needed that breakaway from their parents. They needed that breakaway from the city's sounds and culture and the madness of it all. So we started a camping club. And in that camping club, over 2.5 decades, he made so many connections with the youth of O'Devney Gardens, Dunard, the Cattle Market, Drumalee, Black Horse Grove. And when he passed, I realised that he needed something to make some kind of representation of my father. So he always protected this tree in Black Horse Grove. And when he passed in 2014, we got a plaque made and we planted some nice plants belonged to him and put the granite stones that he had accumulated over his years. Then in 2016, we had a gaily windy night when the tree fell. And after his tree fell, we removed the plaque and placed it into his front garden, and the granite stones lay there. And as the full moon arrived again in that month, another message came to me. Intuition? Whatever it is. I took some granite stones and I brought them to Poppintree, Ballymun, where I reside. And there is where I decided to do a pod for my father, so as I could look out across the field and see that he was close to me. But as the time went on, and the enjoyment that I got from that pod, I continued to plant. And each time I planted and made a new pod, I made new connections. And Poppintree, Ballymun, Coultree, Balcurra, Shangannon, forgive me if I don't mention any of yous. I seen so many busy bees doing planting all over Ballymun. After the regeneration of Ballymun, yes, the trees and plants is one of the nicest part of Ballymun, Poppintree, Coultree. Wherever you look out, you can see people trying their utmost to make it a better place. Gratefulness for all the people who have helped. To the kids of Ballymun, to the teenagers of Ballymun, to the old people of Ballymun, to my neighbours, in giving tools, in giving wheelbarrows, in giving plants that they had in their homes. All what you see in Poppintree in them pods are from the people of Poppintree. Extracts from Society Stings, a short story written in 2019. The sun ascends over the outer ridge of the Dublin Mountains. Its golden hand paints freshness about. It shines upon a divided plate, where lush green spaces are broken by blocks of grey slabs, the new Dublin Corporation flats. These flats replace the old tenements that the rich and famous had abandoned to let their agents rent them to the poor. Throughout our land, we are separated by who you know and what you own. The poor and the rich all stitch in patterns of, this is my place, you belong over there. The affluent settle to the suburbs to remove themselves from viewing the flesh of the poor. Sickness lay in every corner of these buildings. Beneath a cold industrial window, a single bed with 2 kids in the stream of their dreams. Cutting through the landscape of the window, a meandering stream descends to a pool on the window ledge. Trickling below, it falls upon a child's hand. Sleeping side by side, the 2 kids snug in their spooning. They huddle together in the night's darkness with that same window shattered by the cold. Awakened by the sound coming from their living room, they hear their mammy sob. The older kid pushes their bedroom door ajar, and the younger kid peeks down the windowless hallway. They can make out the shape of their parents through the glass living room door. Their dad is reassuring their mum. He pleads with her, "I won't do 8 years. I will keep my head down and get out after 5. They hear their mummy sob. Who will help me with the kids? The 2 kids had to learn to mind themselves over the next number of years. They spent a lot of their time in the playground of the Phoenix Park. It was their place of peace, the flowing streams for them to dream, grasping a handful of juicy grass as they marched to beat the midday heat. The 2 kids breathe in the freshly cut grass as they joyfully giggle and freely tumble their way down the steep hills. The edge of water, they're getting hotter. Flipping off their pumps, they stay away from the swamps. Their feet beneath the heat as they view the pinkeens swimming between the grime. It's also sublime. Dotted round the flower gardens to jungle-like pods, they climb to the tips of the trees to freely free the breeze, egging their mates on to hiss at the swans as they see an angry swarm of wasps hover over their blocked entrance. A long stick should do the trick as they poke the blockage free. Fleeing from the sting, overwhelming from the beginning, they dive in between the reeds to escape life stings. Society stings. A story of 2 individuals seeing their father going into a place of detention and seeing then a family broken. Throughout that brokenness they carry. They become containers to carry, to fall, to devoid a number of people, stand them on their own, and then just watch them fall to pieces. And we watch them go. The many windows of time in the clock of our hearts. No stopping, no rewinding, no pretending, just mending. Roll, roll, friend or foe, it's tick-tock from the pram into the arms. Your first step to your stand alone on your own. Kindness, rhymed in time, standing in a single line, finger to the lips and hands outstretched to be enriched. Matters of the heart seems to be an art. Have I the wrong brush, or am I just in a rush? Groups of brutes, sure of their roots, with their singular meaning of the truth, conditioned by their mission, no time for indecision. The tension if you mention the greyness of our creation, in their groups they reboot. Privileged conversation, this is not your station. Belittling while you're down, dull, you're out of fashion, your moment over. Butter on the chair as you twist your finger through your hair. Sure, I'm a box of slippery shame, blame and a barrel full of pain. Rare with little care, a growing angry bear. Slices of crisis with slices of courage, trying hard to flourish. Leap from your heap and bring hope and get down from the rope. Humpty Dumpty climbed that ladder again, his crown regained. Conform, reform, nourishment or punishment, the consensus is to fence them. Ruled by the shadow of pressured admittance, all hatred must turn to dust, to love just the way you are. And finally, number 3, sound out. The pride that the youngsters place within their horses, the grooming, the shoeing, the caring, the pride of the head lifted as they're trotting by me. I see it, and I see the passion that these young boys have, young men, whatever you want to call them, some older, some younger, but it's all passion. And then I see other skills, the biking. The biking's so important for individuals within these council estates. So why not give them the skills to build, to break down, to have a national stadium in order for them to compete with each other, to build pride of the area, pride in their abilities to figure out the problem within the machine, to listen to it and know that it's not running properly. All of these fulfill the human abilities, and it contains them with pride and understanding of what their skills are. Academia, as wherever the word may be, is not everything in this country. And that's the path I've seen. So I want us as a state and as a world to understand there's going to be individuals who are not academic and who are not going to fill that need for us. So all these individuals, like travellers, like young disillusioned men who feel there's nothing in this country for them and maybe nothing in this world for them, that we fill them with pride. So while we put resources into many things that this country needs, we also need to resource the forgotten, the unknown, the names that pass without recognition. And every council estate has them. And this is the time, after 15 months of, people trying to contain their attitudes and their instincts, use your ingenuity and your passion to create and say there's hope within this shuttle of Irishness, of conditioning, of the way we view ourselves as this is my place and you belong over there.